Hello, I'm Riedel. This will be presentation one. I'm super excited to give this presentation and show you guys this product and this idea that I have. So I guess what I'll first kind of go into is personal and company introduction. So I actually do not work for a company right now. I am focusing on football. As you can see, obviously I play football here at MSUM. I'm a kicker on the team. So we're in season right now. So I graduated in the spring with my bachelor's degree from here, and decided, I wanted to play that fourth year of football, kind of get my last year in for it. So I started the MBA program, obviously, which I was planning on doing anyway, but this gave me kind of reason to stick around in Moorhead and to play the last season. So that's why I do not technically right now work for a company. I've been applying at places, so I'm hoping to kind of start one here starting in January, maybe hopefully even a little bit earlier than that. We'll see what happens with that. But I technically don't work for a company right now, so I made a work for Target. Not actually though. The reason I chose Target though was because my dad works downtown at Target headquarters as a packaging engineer, so I kind of know a little bit of the ins and outs of the company itself. And then I actually worked at Target 2 winters ago, seasonally, as the general merchandise expert. So that was a lot of fun. I learned a lot about how Target works, Target culture. So I think out of all the companies I could have chosen, this would be the best one because I kind of have the most insight and knowledge on that company. A little bit more personal info. Like I said, sports are a big part of my life right now as I finish up my last football season. And then this is the Grand Tetons. So I was there this past summer for 9 days, hiked over 50 miles, gained 10,000 feet of elevation just from hiking. But I love to travel, go hiking, especially to the national parks. I've been to 13 national parks so far, hoping to go every single one by the time I'm really old. But that's a little bit about me. I like football, play football, and I like to travel and hike. And then Target is the company that I chose. So my POV was a shopper at Target needs to have a storage system to protect and organize their items because they don't want items to be squished or destroyed while shopping. So this is kind of addressing the problem of if you're at Target and you have a cart. I know I've always had problems with items getting squished. So if I got bread in there, I don't want stuff getting on the bread. Squishing it, destroying it. Other items that are delicate, or for example, if you have wet items like frozen veggies from the freezer section, I don't want the condensation getting on books, other stuff that I'm buying from Target. So that's kind of the problem that I was addressing, and when I came up for a solution is this right here. So this is prototype 0.0, very, very rough prototype, obviously. That's what it's supposed to be. And what this is here, it's gonna be hard for you guys to actually see it from the video, but it's a giant kind of square thing. There's a handle in the middle to pick it up, and it's basically a storage system, with storage compartments. You walk into Target, the baskets are on the ground, right? Next to it, we can have this, which is a storage compartment system that you can put into the front of the cart to kind of make little storage compartments to organize stuff and keep other things from touching each other. So what we have is there's smaller ones on this one, and then there's 3 bigger compartments for bigger items. Like if you want to put milk up here, you can separate it by freezer, fridge, etc. But basically, it's just a giant storage system that people can use in the cart to kind of address the problem of stuff getting squished, stuff getting destroyed, etc. So customer visits. For this one, I did Target employees, specifically general merchandise experts, because they're the ones on the floor. They're the ones assigned to individual sections and the ones always in contact with the customers. I know that from when I worked there, that you're always helping the guests as a guest at Target, not customers either. And always trying to make their experience better. So I thought, they're gonna have the best insight and the best knowledge of what customers want besides the customers, which is the next interview in a few weeks. But I interviewed all 5 of these employees at the Moorhead Target to kind of get their insights. And here's kind of some of the things they talked about, some of their wants, things they would want to see in the product, need to see in the product, and then some of my takeaways. So the first one is, like I stated, an area for wet items. That was one of the biggest ones that all of them talked about. They wanted an area that could be specifically for milk, freezer items. One of them said maybe a spot where it's actually like a frozen spot, so it keeps stuff fresher. I don't know if that's reasonable because it can be very expensive, but definitely something I'm going to think about. Next was easy to get in and out of the cart. They said they didn't want it to be a hassle for customers to put it in, take it out, get stuck on the sides, etc. So it doesn't need to be extremely tight, but it definitely doesn't have to be loose. Next was lightweight materials. They kind of talked about having it be light, made of light materials, so it's not extremely heavy for customers to get in and out of the cart, especially if you want to, if you're at the checkout line and you want to take it out, put it on the conveyor belt, easy for you to pick up. Then it was different size compartments, obviously. All of them talked about that one, just having small, medium, large. How important it was, especially for the small ones, to have them split up so then you can have different small items in different spots. Next was stable. They wanted to not where you're taking it out and it just kind of falls over, stuff like that. So kind of equal weight distribution all around. Not lightweight material, but not one that is easy to break, easy to frail. And then lastly was good amount of space. They said, I don't want to take up the whole entire cart, but half of it would be good, because if someone's going to use it, they're going to actually use it. But I want to leave a little spot for them to have a spot if they don't want to use it as well. So this leads me into my revised POV. I think my first POV was pretty good. I think it was pretty on target, even after the interviews. But I did have a few things that I wanted to change and a couple things to add to this one to try to revise it and make it better. So the revised one is, a shopper at Target needs to have storage compartments to protect and organize items because they don't want them to get squished, wet, or destroyed. So some of the spots where I changed was storage compartments instead of storage systems. I wanted to put more emphasis on the compartments themselves, because that's what kind of separates it from just a cart or a basket. So I kind of changed that part to kind of emphasize that. And then the other big one that I did was I added wet into it as well, because that was one of the things that all the 5 workers talked about, was having a separate spot. If you have freezer items, because like I said, you don't want freezer condensation to get on a book or anything else that, especially when they get wet, isn't going to be good, like paper things and stuff like that. So it's kind of where I revised my POV. I think this round of customer interviews gave me a lot of good feedback and a lot of good insight that I used to make my product better, improve it. I'm really excited for this next round of interviews, especially with customers, get kind of a first-hand experience and actually hear from them. That should be really exciting. Mostly everybody shops at Target too, so it applies to a lot of people. But yeah, this was a good round. I got a lot of good feedback. It was nice to kind of go and get it from the actual workers, especially when they're actually working, because then they really think about it, because that's what they're doing. They're helping the guests, they're helping them improve their experience, and I think this product can help improve the experience for all guests at Target. Thank you.